A portion of this video is brought to you by Sheath Underwear. For more information about Sheath, visit the link in the description below or wait till the end of this video to hear more about them from me.
The FBI conducted a court-authorized search at the home of John Bolton, national security advisor under the first Trump administration.
Let's start with this relative to this particular story. John Bolton's house. Donald Trump dispatched his secret police to raid the home of his former national security advisor. You may ask why. This is why. This particular headline, and then we'll get to the story about the secret police raid of John Bolton's home. NPR, this is yesterday, first wave of Epstein Files is being sent to Congress, says Oversight Committee Chair. The House Oversight Committee is expected to get hundreds of documents on Friday related to the Justice Department's investigation into the Jeffrey Epstein case. The release will mark the first wave of files to be sent to the committee in response to a congressional subpoena issued earlier this month, calling on the DOJ to provide records for its probe of the convicted sex offender and his longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. This is the reason the dear leader is having his former, remember, I hire all the best people, all the smartest, all the best. But apparently he needs to raid the home of this gentleman, John Bolton, who, by the way, not a good guy. But criminal? I doubt it. He has integrity to his own warmongering beliefs, but I don't believe him to be a liar or a criminal. A coward, yes, but not a criminal. Where are we with all of this? I've got a tweet here from just 5 days ago where Donald Trump called John Bolton stupid in a Truth Social post. But I also have this from August 10th when he was on with Jonathan Karl on This Week on ABC, being asked about, are you worried about retribution from Donald Trump? It's all been on the radar. We know Donald Trump is going to go after and deliver retribution and revenge against those who speak out against him, who are not in alignment with his fascist worldview. Watch this from, again, August 10th, as though it's a surprise that the secret police are now raiding his home.
Before you go, we're about to talk about Trump's retribution campaign we're seeing at the FBI and the Justice Department. You're obviously on his enemies list, at least Kash Patel's enemies list. Are you worried that they're going to come after you in some way? I mean, he's hinted at it before.
Well, I think he's already come after me and several others in withdrawing the protection that we had for from the Iranians for the attack on Qasem Soleimani. So I think, and I said in the new forward to the paperback edition of my book, I think it is a retribution presidency.
Yeah.
You're already on the enemies list. This is America in 2025. We have a man-baby president with the powers like a dictator, with immunity granted from the Supreme Court that he can do anything he wants. He can act criminally like this. He can be sitting in the White House, watch an interview of Jonathan Karl. Actually, this was on the Sunday show, so he was probably on the golf course with his phone watching the news. And he could say, I don't like that guy. Secret police, go raid his home because I don't like him, because he disagrees with me, because of whatever reason. This is the situation we find ourselves in right now. 1 week later, Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. The very unattractive, both inside and out, senator from Connecticut, Chris Murphy, said, quote, Putin got everything that he wanted. Actually, nobody got anything too soon, but getting close. Murphy is a lightweight who thinks it made the Russian president look good in coming to America. Actually, it was very hard for President Putin to do so. This war can be ended now, but stupid people like Chris Murphy, John Bolton, and others make it much harder to do so. Criticism, Donald Trump, makes your job harder. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to keep it up. Now, John Bolton I'm going to get to a CNN clip that kind of breaks down in real time the shocking moment that we learned that his house was being raided. But before that, let this serve as a message to John Bolton and others who believe they can eliminate the threat of retribution from Donald Trump by staying on his good side or trying to, of not testifying in his second impeachment trial. John Bolton could have avoided this by actually testifying and lending more weight, more gravity to the case that Democrats made in impeaching and bringing him to trial in the Senate for removal. But he refused to testify because he's a coward, because he was afraid, because he thought, well, if I don't testify, it will save me from the ire of Donald Trump. Ostensibly, you would guess that's what it was. Because what was in it for him to not testify against Donald Trump, not say what he knew, which he wrote about in his book. This is June 22nd, 2020 from the Washington Post. Why John Bolton didn't testify in the impeachment inquiry in the first place. According to John Bolton's book out Tuesday, it's fair to say President Trump's former national security advisor agreed with the Democrats that Trump politicized foreign policy for his own gain. Bolton claims Trump did so on multiple occasions. Bolton writes that Democrats committed impeachment malpractice for not investigating beyond Ukraine and says Trump asked China's president for help too. But at the time, he refused to willingly testify or even with a subpoena. He wasn't going to do it voluntarily, and even if compelled through legal subpoena, he was going to refuse. Now, earlier I said the second impeachment is the one he refused to testify in. I misstated. It's the first. When I read this, it reminded me that I said the wrong thing. So he could have absolutely avoided this. And this should be a lesson to all of those people out there. Sidling up to Donald Trump isn't going to save you. If you're a Republican and you think allying with Donald Trump or not going so far and trying to distance yourself, but being in that easy, safe space, it's not going to save you. If you're a full-fledged MAGA, a farmer, you own a business, you're not going to be saved. He's seeking to deport the guy who ran the Trump Burger in Texas. He's destroying American manufacturing in this country. He's destroying MAGA businesses because with his tariffs. You're not going to be saved. Here to explain in breaking news terms, the morning team, I think it's John Berman and Kate Baldwin over at CNN, and really pay attention to the language that's used. In this moment, in the United States history, we have a journalism that is not meeting the moment. They're not calling it like it is. That Donald Trump is using his secret police force, his masked federal agent goons, FBI, ATF, ICE, Border Patrol, name them. They're all his secret police now. And he's using them accordingly. And they're not calling it as it is. They're covering this as though it's a real investigation, as though there's a real predicate for doing what they're doing. Harassment, intimidation, distraction from the Epstein Files that got delivered to Congress today. Watch this from CNN.
We learned just moments ago, according to a source, that the FBI conducted a court-authorized search at the home of John Bolton as part of a national security investigation. John Bolton, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, former national security advisor under the first Trump administration, a frequent critic of late of President Trump, a frequent vocal critic of President Trump, and President Trump has been a frequent vocal critic of John Bolton. Lots of bad blood between these two men, but again, learning that there is a court-authorized FBI search at John Bolton's home this morning. Let's bring in CNN's Caitlin Polantz for the very latest on this. We saw pictures of officers around the home of John Bolton. What's known at this time?
Well, John, we are looking at these pictures of John Bolton's home in Maryland being searched by the FBI, or FBI officials going to his door to conduct a search. And we have confirmed that the FBI conducted that court-authorized search, meaning that they would have gone to a court as part of a very likely criminal probe. Our understanding is this part of a national security investigation. Exactly what that would be and what sort of reasoning the Justice Department and the FBI would give the court for conducting that national security search, still a huge question here. But this is a person that Donald Trump has been very much on the outs with since he wrote a book about his service in the first Trump administration, when John Bolton was the national security advisor to President Donald Trump. At that time, Trump was very unhappy that Bolton was talking about things that Trump did that made Trump look very bad publicly, ways that Trump himself handled other foreign leaders, national security, classified issues. And Trump at that time, back in 2020, was saying that John Bolton should face criminal problems for allegedly publishing classified information. Trump was saying that any conversation with him was classified, and thus none of it should have been able to be revealed in John Bolton's book. That then led to a grand jury investigation of John Bolton in the District of Columbia's federal court. It resulted in no charges. So what this is there a link to that situation? This is official that we know has a lot of classified information over his long tenured service in government. So John Bolton now being under investigation again after not being in government for several years. We are going to have a lot of questions going forward. I've reached out to John Bolton's attorney, who handled his issues through the first grand jury investigation, and CNN reached Bolton directly. This morning, Bolton said he was unaware of this FBI activity and was looking into it further. John.
We are in unprecedented times. Scary, scary times. Who's next? Likely people in my space, the people who speak out against Donald Trump firmly, boldly, every single day. It's starting with the more well-known public figures like John Bolton, like some Democrats, like black mayors and black congresswomen who are being charged, arrested for trying to do their job of oversight and governing. And if it's outside of the purview of what Donald Trump's interests are or his positions are, he's going to come after you. I may be next. I'm a smaller fry, certainly. But I can tell you this, I am not going to shut up. I will not be silenced. And I hope you feel the same way. How do you feel about this? You can comment below the video wherever you're watching it. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Be genuine and take care of one another. It is absolutely difficult to keep a cool head in this political climate, especially with the added aggravation of these overheated outdoor temperatures. How can you be expected to conduct any clear-headed discourse with your drawers in a sweaty soup? My go-to for keeping things cool, Sheath Underwear. I'm wearing a pair right now, and let me tell you, it's like nighttime in the desert down there, all day long. Head to sheath.com and use promo code Dollemore to score 20% off and upgrade yourself to the most comfortable underwear that you'll ever wear. How do they differ from your average boxers? Well, let me tell you. Invented by a U.S. Army veteran while serving a tour in Iraq, Sheath's boxer fabric is designed with a moisture-wicking technology. Their underwear features a unique dual pouch system that keeps all your man parts comfortably separated instead of sticking together. We all know the feeling of the old eggs getting stuck to the pan, if you know what I mean. My favorites are the airflow meshes, which seem especially equipped to handle my thighs, bigger thighs. But Sheath has also tons of other fabric options and designs that you can get into. And I'm clearly not the only one singing the praises out there. Sheath are recommended by multiple doctors and urologists and have over 20,000 five-star reviews. Also, Sheath supports multiple charities like Socks for Soldiers and Doctors Without Borders. So while you're upgrading your undies, you can be making the world a more upstanding place too. It's tough to focus on draining the swamp when you are swampy mess yourself. Sheath's boxers will help you keep the temperature down by bringing up the level of comfortability. Score 20% off right now at sheath.com and use promo code Dollemore.